Greetings to my respected elders, my brothers and my sisters, and to all those who are not yet believers. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise is to Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Send blessings and peace upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Good morning again, everybody. It is a wonderful Friday, mashallah. Thank you to everybody who is the newest subscribers and to the new subscribers on Patreon, mashallah. I'm going to start doing some reaction videos, inshallah. That's my intention. As soon as I find the time to navigate and learn how, inshallah. This is not full-time for me. I want it to be full-time for me, inshallah, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide me with the means to do that, financially speaking, and still be able to provide for my children, provide for my family, do the things that are required of me, inshallah. I mean, with that being said, I know that there are some reaction video channels out there who provide some type of reactionary content to matters of the dunya that we all face, from an Islamic perspective. But there are not many. There are very few and far between, at least that I have discovered. Or maybe the content is not as popular. And alhamdulillah, that's okay. I make the content for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to try to help out the ummah who deal with these things on a day-to-day basis. I'm all the time talking about the difference in westernized countries and Muslim countries, and the differences that we face as far as these things go. And there's a reason for that. Number one, it's because I live in a westernized country. That's where I live at. Not only that, but as I've stated before, I live in an area that is predominantly Christian. Well, at least that's what they profess. I don't see a lot of them practicing it. But that's the area that I live in, right? And number two, it's because there is such a difference in the content that is available to us, to our own detriment, I might add. They're keeping us fed in the machine in order to keep us plugged into the matrix, so to speak, for lack of a better term. The more that we can stay involved in the things of the dunya, the more the dunya will keep us pulled in and keep us from focusing on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I feel like that bringing content and making content available that is reactionary in nature to some of these westernized things, from an Islamic perspective, will do some good, inshallah. Now, my thing also is I have to be very careful of the content, because a lot of the content that is out is so bad that you don't even want to, you don't even want to put your name to it, as far as the haram that goes along with that content. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect me in that area, in the content that I choose to have reaction videos to. Also, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect each and every Muslim out there from the content that they're consuming, because it's a big deal. We spend how many hours a day consuming content that's haram, and then we expect to have actions that are halal. It doesn't make sense. That's like eating pizza every day expecting to not get fat, or eating McDonald's every day and expecting to not get fat. It doesn't, the two things are not exclusive. They're not together, mutually exclusive, So with that being the case, we have to make a good effort, a concerted effort on our part, because the responsibility ultimately falls on us, right? So we have to make the effort on our part to do what's right and filter our own content. That's our responsibility. That doesn't fall on the content creators. We shouldn't watch content creators and then, say, oh, astaghfirullah, these people shouldn't be putting this out. If it's, if you got women on there who are twerking and jerking and all this kind of haram stuff, and you're getting mad at them for producing the content, then stop watching the content. Okay? It's a pretty simple idea and a pretty simple concept as far as that goes. We can't get mad at people for putting this stuff out and then consuming it if we're consuming it. It's like, again, back to the fast food analogy. That's like us getting mad at McDonald's for giving us heart disease when we are the ones every day who are eating this stuff expecting to not get heart disease. That doesn't make a lick of sense. May Allah protect us from that. I mean. So, that is in my intentions. And inshallah ta'ala, I will be able to devote more time, effort, and energy into this. The donations, mashallah, have increased. Subhanallah. I've got a lawyer's appointment on the 12th, inshallah, to go and see what my options are as far as starting the Dawah Center. What type of licensing I'll have to have, what type of federal licensing I'll have to have in order to be tax exempt and things of that nature. So, with that being said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to increase the channel growth and the GoFundMe donations and PayPal donations, all these different areas that I've posted links to in order for you to be able to donate and to support the Dawah Project. I will be giving updates on that after my lawyer's appointment to find out, kind of financially speaking, what's going to be required. I already know that it's going to be an expensive process because I'm going to have the location, rent the location, provide the first month, the last month, and the security deposit for the business rental location. I can't just rent a house or an apartment or something. But all things being equal these days, financially speaking, there's not much difference in the price range. You can anybody who pays a rent these days knows that the rent levels are ridiculous. 2-bedroom places for $1,200, and I live in a small house, and it's 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom. It's very small, and I live in a very small area, small town. And 2 years ago, the rent in this area was, average $500, $550 a month, maybe $600. But now, it's doubled. It's doubled. Everywhere is doubled. You may be fortunate enough to find, a rental location for $800 or $900, but that even in itself is not very often. So, anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna have to pay for the first month, the last month, and the security deposit on the place, and then get the electricity established, get the water established, get the Wi-Fi established, get all these different things established, fill it with the Dawah material. And what I would like to do ultimately, inshallah, is to have a small masjid attached to the Dawah Center, or maybe even double it as a masjid and a Dawah Center all together in one. Inshallah. Allah knows best. I don't know what kind of roadblocks I'm going to run into. I also would like to get the podcast started, inshallah. That's more of a longer term goal than the Dawah Center and the Masjid. You know, that's more of an immediate need in this area, especially. Anybody who's watched my content knows that, you know, the closest area is an hour 20 to hour and 30 minutes away. So that's a pretty good distance, especially for people whose transportation is not the most reliable. You know, my vehicle, for example, is a 1995. I don't feel confident enough driving it an hour and a half one way to go to the masjid. I would love to attend Jummah at the nearest local community. But the problem with that being is that if my vehicle breaks down, I'm in trouble. I am in trouble. Alhamdulillah. So, anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for subscribing. Thank you everybody who shares the content. MashaAllah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless each and every one of you for your support, for the love that you show in the comments. I have not forgotten anybody in the comments. Like I said, when I find time, inshallah, I do my best to respond to each and every one of you. And I mean to all your du'as. Thank you so much for all your du'as for me and my family. And for those of you who are not members of my Patreon is $5 a month, and that's for the members exclusive area. That is not dawah related material. That is more of marriage and / relationship coaching advice, and also exercise and nutrition advice, right? Because our nutrition and our exercise, our overall fitness as believers is of paramount importance. And it also affects our marital status. Let's face it, a healthy believer has much higher probabilities of being married and providing a long life to their spouse and their children. And we owe it to our spouse and our children to be as healthy as we can possibly be. So, with that being said, that's kind of what's available there. Like I said, it's $5 a month. That's the minimum that Patreon allows you to charge. So I don't want to overdo anything. I don't want to place an undue financial burden onto anyone. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for each and every one of you to join the Patreon if you should choose to do so. And I have not been releasing, full disclosure, I have not been releasing content as regularly on Patreon on the exclusive thing because I just got it started. But inshallah, that is going to pick up, and I plan to do some live stream things on there with the coaching and the nutrition advice, as well as some dating and not dating, but marriage, relationship advice. Inshallah, that's my intention. So with that being said, may everyone have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless each and every one of you. Ameen, ameen. And until next time, remember that there is one God and only one God, and He alone is worthy of worship.